Good day, family and friends. Today I want to speak to each person, every individual who have experienced loss in their lives. And I believe that if you have been alive long enough, you have or will experience some type of loss, whether it's the loss of a loved one, loss of health, loss in your finances. It could be a job, relationship, marriage relationship, whatever relationships you've lost. I believe we have all suffered as a result of loss. And so what loss does to our lives emotionally and spiritually and psychologically is that it creates hopelessness, and it creates pain and discouragement, and it really drains us of the drive to keep moving. And I know that there are individuals who have experienced such deep losses that sometimes it just feels as if there is really no hope, and you have kind of lived with the idea of a sustained loss in your life, as if there is no coming back from it. And this is why I want to speak to that individual today. You know, when you've invested money and you've lost the money, and after a while it's just, it was just a loss, and you just learn to live with it. There's no expectations for the future. You don't look to do anything new. You don't try anything new because of the loss that you have suffered. There is a word from the Lord today concerning that, and I want to go to the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 25, because this was the word to the prophet, to the children of Israel who had suffered loss as a result of their own decisions. And sometimes loss is due to some of our poor decisions. It may be due to the enemy's attack on our lives, and sometimes it's just the way of life, and God uses the challenges of life to really show himself. So whatever the reasons for your loss, in Joel was really talking to the children of Israel who had experienced loss, but God reminded them of his promises. And in this reminder, God says to the children of Israel, he says, "And I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten, the cankerworm and the caterpillar and the palmer worm." And the question is, why does God use these insects? And it's because these insects actually led to destruction. If you think about the palmer worm, it eats the fruit of the trees. And the locusts, they eat the leaves of the trees. The cankerworm, they destroy the bark of the tree. The caterpillar, they destroy the tree, the life of the tree. And so there are things in our lives that have been destroyed. And as a result of that, we are suffering the pain of loss. But I believe God is saying to us what he has said in the book of Joel. He uses a word that I want all of us to put our finger on, and that is the word restore. Everybody just say to yourself, restore. I want you to grab hold of that word wherever you may be in your life. Just grab hold of that word. It has really been sitting with me for a few weeks now, just the word restore, because it means to bring back. It means to reestablish. It means to replace. It means to reinstall, to rehabilitate. And so it suggests that there has been pain, there has been discouragement, there has been damage, there has been destruction, but there's hope in the word restoration, because restoration means that God has not forgotten. God sees, God knows what losses we have suffered, and he says to the children of Israel that despite their going against his will, despite their idolatry, despite their decision to do their will, God still promised that he will restore the years of destruction, the years of damage, the years of wounds, that God is going to restore. He's going to bring back. And I believe that's what God is saying to us. Despite our decisions, despite the attack of the enemy on different areas of our lives, God is saying, I will restore. I will bring back. In Jeremiah 30 verse 17, God reminds us, he said, but I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, declares the Lord. Somebody needs to hear that today. In Job 42 verse 10, after Job had lost everything, this was the word of the Lord. The Lord restored the fortunes of Job. And in Psalms, again, verse 71, chapter 71, he says, though you have made me see troubles, many and bitter, you will restore my life again. So there's somebody who is seeing troubles and life has been bitter, but the word of the Lord declares, you will restore my life again. Everybody say again. See, because that's what the in store means. Again. He's going to restore again. First Peter chapter 5 verse 10 says, and the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while. After you have suffered a little while. And there are individuals who I'm speaking to today who have suffered. Here's the word of the Lord. After you have suffered a little while, will himself restore you and make you strong and steadfast. And lastly, I want to leave you with the psalm in Psalms chapter 23. He leads me besides the still waters. And here's what David declares. He restores my soul. He restores, he heals, he completes, he makes me whole again. He gives me peace again. He gives me joy again. So whatever it is that you have lost, I'm here to remind you today that the word of the Lord is God will restore. We serve a God who is a restorer of all things lost. God bless you.